To begin sewing a shirt collar, familiarize yourself with your shirt collar pieces. You have two mirror image collar stands. One should be interfaced, and that one will go on the inside of the shirt. You will have two collar pieces that are not identical. The upper collar is 1/8 inch bigger at the outer edges than the under collar. This allows the upper collar to roll smoothly over the under collar and hide the stitch line connecting them. You will also have two collar backing pieces that fit under the ends of the under collar. As the diagonal fold line is turned back, allowing for the insertion of the collar stays, the backing will be exposed underneath. The collar backing is placed face up underneath the under collar. To begin assembling your collar, first fold back the under collar along that fold line that should be marked on your pattern and hold the backing in place underneath it. Then stitch along the stitch lines, also marked on your pattern, to create the collar stay channel. You're going to do this on both sides. As you can see, the collar stay fits in the channel you've just sewn. Once the seam allowances are in, after connecting the under collar to the upper collar, you will need to trim the collar stay to fit. Using the notches, identify the neck edge of the collar. This is the portion that will be sewn to the collar stand. In this step, we will be sewing the outer edge of the collar, that is, the undercollar to the upper collar. Place the collar pieces, right sides together. Match the neck edge and point edges together, easing in the fullness of the larger upper collar. This can be accomplished by placing the upper collar against the feed dogs so that the natural action of the machine will take in the excess. The demonstrated method for turning a sharp point is to take one stitch at the point over 2 strands of thick thread and pull the strands to the inside. Now you have the threads wrapped around the stitch at the point. We will be able to pull these threads to the outside when turning to make the collar point. Continue stitching along the outside of the collar, keeping all layers even at 1/4 inch seam allowance, and repeat the process for turning the point on the other end. Stop stitching 1 stitch from the point. Set the threads across the front of the needle between the 2 layers of the upper collar and the under collar. Take 1 stitch over the threads. Pull the threads to the inside and out of the way of any further stitching. Then finish your seam, once again easing in the excess length at the sides. Since the collar seam is sewn at 1/4 inch seam allowance, it is only necessary to trim the points before turning. When turning, grasp the threads that were sewn into the point and pull firmly to bring out your sharp point. These threads are easily removed by pulling one end. After pressing your collar, top stitch along the outer edge of the collar at a width of your preference.